Hey guys, Matt Straight Race Cards here, and today I wanted to talk about some of my heart and thoughts on the National that I've been convicted by, as well as share some of my pickups. Before I do that, did want to say it has been an awesome week. The Rangers have gotten hot, and we are now tied for last place in the wild card. And so that's awesome. And then it is National Week, and so it's been really fun watching some amazing collectors videos. I love seeing the National videos. It gets me really just excited about everyone's pickups and just the awesome community that is there. So love seeing videos like Mike Baseball Collectors videos, which congrats on 10K subscribers. That's a huge deal, and I couldn't think of a guy any more deserving than Mike. So grateful for him. And yeah, so it's just an awesome week. Lots going on. And, my wife and I, we just got back from a week-long vacation with the kids. We took them to family camp in East Texas and got to go with some of my closest friends and their families. And it was such a good time to get away, spend time with the kids, and spend time with friends. And my wife and I got to connect and just spend more time because there's so much crazy stuff going on. So when my wife and I actually get to slow down and connect and stop when the kids, are in their classes and we get to spend time together, it's such a joy. So really fun doing that. And, as we enter into the full season of, the National and all the hobby content, there's a few things that came to mind. And I think part of that is just this excitement and joy that I have, seeing everything going on. There's a lot of just excitement around the hobby, lots of great hobby content. But I wanted to create a video because if I'm honest with you guys, while I get excited, part of me also gets a little disappointed and bummed out as well because, I haven't been able to go to the National. And part of that is just being in the season of life with young kids and family and just not being able to allocate resources to be at the National. And so as I am sitting in a little bit of that disappointment, being a little bummed, part of this making this video was to really encourage myself as well as any others that may be in the same boat. Maybe you're a little bummed out as well. And so what I want to encourage you with is, what, even if you aren't in the National or aren't able to make the National, man, life is too short to compare or look to our left or to our right about what others are doing. We have to be grateful for the things that we have been given. And so that's where I've been sitting this week, is just wanting to be more grateful. And that's been a theme this entire summer. So, I'm so thankful that I get to be a part of the YouTube community. I'm so grateful that I get to spend discretionary money on sports cards every now and then. I am so grateful for my wife and my kids, and the list goes on and on. And so, my hope is that I can be engaged in what, life is currently right now in Dallas, not what's happening in the National, but just, my kids and everything else going on. And I'm actually headed into a weekend. The timing is really good because I'm headed into a weekend where I'm about to be, solo dad. My wife's going to the lake with some girlfriends, so gonna get to do that. So what a great opportunity to practice what I preach. So that being said, if you want to connect this weekend, please reach out. I'd love to talk cards with someone once my kids go down, so please reach out. But I say all this because, man, my heart is that I want to be a collector that is focused, on, helping others, but also just not being a collector that is, quick to compare. I want to be focused on my own journey and just excited about the pickups that I've been making and what, just celebrate what other people are doing as well. And so, I saw a video and a reel of a guy that it was the former director of SNL, and he was asked the question, "What are you jealous of?" And something he said that really stirred my heart was he said, "I am jealous of everyone that still has little kids at home still growing up." And I was like, man, that hits me in my tracks. So instead of being worried about not being able to make the national, my heart is, hey, how can I make the most of the season of life with kids at home and enjoy the hobby right now as it is today? So, anyways, those are a few thoughts. I'd love to hear if anyone else has, processed something like that. Appreciate y'all listening to my rambling, but I'd encourage you guys, let's celebrate others and just celebrate where we are in our own collecting journey as well. So I'll show you a few pickups as well, but please reach out to me if you want to connect this weekend. Love to talk cards later in the evenings on Friday and Saturday. So anyways, thank you guys and keep running the straight race. Okay, here we go. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Ed Pike, who is a authoritative figure on all things track and field cards, and I had sold him a couple of National Licorice swimmers as well as some Mulan Francs that I just didn't have use for, and he asked me if I was interested in some track and field cards, and I said, of course. So he sent me these Goodwin Champions. Here's Sam Hurley. He is actually from Arlington, which is where the Rangers play, about 20 minutes from where I am, and is a jumper from Texas, so that's fun. Local guy. And then another guy I'm not familiar with, but this is Knighton. He is a sprinter, and he has a 200-meter time that is in the top 13 of runners under the age of 20. So pretty cool and super nice to include that. But what he had asked me if I wanted, and this is what I really got excited about, this is a ticket for the 50th pre-meet for anyone interested in track and field. This is kind of one of the premier track events of the summer. It's always the pre-classic. It's always a big event, and this is the year that they really went all in to celebrate pre and just some really cool stuff they have on this ticket, and I love it. So he sent me that. Super kind of him. So shout out to Ed. He's got some great resources on track and field cards. There's an article. If you look up his name and type in track and field, you'll find it. And then last, picked up, wasn't planning on getting a 67 Topps K-Line, but I saw this, and I think all in I paid $21. And so I actually have a raw 67 Topps K-Line. It'll probably grade at 5, but I saw this 4 and thought it's a great deal. I'm not going to pass up on it. The centering's a little off top to bottom, I think, but other than that, it's a pretty sharp card. Well, centering maybe a little. Anyways, for me, it's a great card, but love that. So we'll probably grade that other 67 and then sell or keep. But anyways, I don't pass up on good opportunities, so always fun to add another K-Line. Slowly working through my run. My goal is to hopefully finish that next year, so that's always fun to see kind of the end in sight. I've got all the 70s done and working on the 60s and 50s now. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy, and if any of those thoughts on the National spoke true to you, please let me know. Let me know if you're around this weekend and you want to talk cards, and thanks. Keep running the straight race.